Okay, so today we have Kelly Tan. She's an LPGA player, and we're going to chat with her about her experience in golf and how she got to where she is right now on tour. And also, she's going to share some tips for our juniors on what you need to work on if that's your goal. So, Kelly, can you tell us a little more about yourself, how you started golf, and your journey pretty much up to LPGA?
Okay, well, thanks for having me. First of all, I hope that everyone's staying safe. And yeah, I started golf at the age of 12, and it was from the influence of my dad. I played a lot of sports growing up, and I've always wanted to try new stuff, new challenges. So my dad just pretty much said, why don't you come to the driving range with me one weekend? So I said, okay. So I went with the siblings. To the club, and my dad would hit and I would hit when he's taking some time to rest, and I would hit and he's like, oh, actually you're pretty good, you have the sense of hitting the ball and you're not missing it, which is, I mean, obviously I'm not flushing it every time, but I'm not air swinging it like he would think I would. And I was hit using a men's club, which at the age of 12, was pretty heavy. So from that time on, he's like, why don't you just take a lesson with our local pro here. And I said, yeah, I would love to do that. And he signed us up with my sisters and brother, and we all went. And yeah, from there, and I love it since.
Cool. So, did you have any like challenges throughout your career, like playing junior golf to amateur to professional?
Yeah, I would say every day. It's definitely not a smooth ride. I will tell you a little bit about my background. I started at the age of 12, and when I was 14, I got scouted by Malaysian Ladies Golf Association, and they told my parents that your girl needs to come up and train with the team. And that's when I joined the national team training for the first time at the age of 14, and I really love it. And from there, they sent us to all over Southeast Asia to compete, and which I thought it was really fun. Obviously, I wasn't winning right away, but it was a lot of fun just learning, to meet people and learning their culture, and get to travel and play golf for the country, which was really, I was really honored to do that. And from there, I played on the national team for 7 years, so 14 to 20. No, I was wrong. 6 years. So I turned pro at the age of 20. But at the age of 17, I received a star scholarship from Sime Dhabi, and they told me that we'd love to give you this opportunity to go over to America to IMG Golf Academy, and it was a boarding school. I'm sure many of the golfers would know. And yeah, I did my senior of high school there. I graduated and I learned golf, and I learned how to, I flew over to America for the first time, all by myself. I think the traveling hours were like 24 or 26 hours, something like that. And I was just hoping that someone would pick me up, not knowing who and not knowing how it's going to be like. I had no idea. I mean, I looked up online what ING Golf Academies was like, but I have no idea, what I was getting myself into, but I was willing to take the risk. And I'm glad I did, because um, after that year, I believe it was 2011, I graduated. I really love America, and I love the lifestyle over here, and I love the weather, and I love the people. So when I finished my school, I was like, well, I can't stay here. I got to go home. And when I went home that year, I played in the SEA Games and played in Asian Games and a couple of the big events like that. And 2000, and so I was 20, 2000, no, I'm wrong, 2013. 2013 is when I asked my coach if I should go and try and play in a Q school. I mean, I have no idea what they are, but I just know it's a process that you have to go through. And my coach is like, well, if you're asking that question, you're probably not ready. But I was pretty sure that I was ready, just because I didn't know what it's like. I just wanted him to kind of tell me, like, you have a long way to go and whatnot. But I knew I was ready, and I knew I wanted to, not necessarily ready to turn pro, but I was ready to want to put myself on that stage to see where I stand, and
Mm-hmm.
how far I have to, just to see where I'm ranked. So I signed up, and in that summer, I think it was August, that I flew over to Palm Spring. It was Mission Hill, sorry. It's that course, and I had to play there for 4 rounds, and I didn't play amazing, but it was good enough to get through stage one, and I had to go home because the next stage were in October, so I flew home, and I remember the second and final stage, my mom came with me, so I didn't have to do it all by myself, and it was stressful. I didn't know that it was going to be that stressful. So I played 4 more rounds in the second stage, and again, I didn't finish in the top whatever. I think it was top 60 made it, and I probably finished like 40 or 60 or I'm 50th, somewhere in the middle pack to get it through. And I knew the final stage was going to be hard because it's all the ex-LPGA player who's lost his status that has to come back, and to get their tour card back. And I know there's so many good players, and I knew I had to, do really well. But at the same time, I didn't really give myself the pressure, and I just tell myself, you know what, I'm just gonna go home and do everything I could, because the first goal of me signing this up is to see where I stand, anyways. And the fact that I've, qualified to the final stage, I think I've done a lot. And I think with that, like, nonchalant attitude, it helped me uh, mentally to not be so stressed and more relaxed. And I went back and train and see my coach, and feel as ready as I could. And I came over, and I felt like and you have to play 5 rounds in a row, and there's a cut after 4 rounds. I don't remember the exact number, but I know only 20 players out of, I think that year when I played, it was like 180 or 200 players that was on the field, and you play 2 different courses, and you just kind of swap after each day. And I played all right the first 3 rounds, but I played really, really well in the fourth round, which kind of bumped me up probably 30 or 40th, which I knew I had a chance. But I knew I had to shoot on the par the final round, which it was stressful, but I was glad that I have my mom there. And I remember I shot -3, and I remembered on that final hole, I could actually go, it's a par five, I could hit it on two. It was only like, I don't know, 180 or something to the front and meters. And my caddy was like, yeah, I don't think you need to go for it, because there's water on the left and bunkers all around. And he's like, I don't think you need to like go for it. You need to just lay up and hit it close and give yourself a chance. And I think if you make par, you'll be okay. And I said, okay, well, give me a 9-iron. I had to lay up with a 9-iron. It was the hardest thing for me to do, but I'm glad I listened to him, and I hit my wedge to like 12 foot. I walked up and I saw the leaderboard, and I was like 20 something. I had to make that putt. And I'm like, you just lied to me. But I knew what he was going after. He wanted me to, if I would have hit that second shot into the water, it's all over. He just wanted me to give myself a chance. So, I mean, I flew over the putt. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I hold my putt, and I looked over. My mom was so happy, and I was so happy, and I still didn't know where I stood, but I knew I needed to make that putt. So as soon as I signed the scorecard, there's a rules official came up to me. His name was Marty Robinson. Actually, he still works out on the LPGA tour, and he told me, he said, I'm aware that you're playing in this Q school as an amateur. Congratulations that you've just got your 2014 LPGA card status at that time. And he's like, would you declare yourself as a professional now to accept that status? And I'm like, absolutely. I didn't even ask my mom. So as soon as I said that, I ran out and I gave my mom the biggest hug. And it was it was it was quite the journey. But obviously turning pro, I didn't even go to college golf. A lot of people, I mean, I wish I would have done, not necessarily go to college golf, but did it a little in a slower transition, because I literally went from a national player to the LPGA tour player. I mean, big jump. It was really, really hard for me on the first year, but I tried to cope, because I got my card December 8, 2013, and our season started January middle of January. I literally have like 4 to 5 weeks, including Christmas and holidays, to look for a sponsor. I mean, playing on the LPGA tour is really expensive. Um, it is very, very costly. I could have never done it without my sponsor's help. I was very glad to be meeting the right people, to talk to the right person, and have the right person to believe in me, to give me the funds to start my first year. And I mean, I played in 22 events, and I probably made 6 cuts or 7 cuts. Um, and all, like, I only have one good finishes. The rest of them, I probably my best finish were like 30th. So really, it was tough. I finished fourth in one of the event, which shot me up way up in the money list, and which saved my year. And yeah, it's been really tough. I mean, put on it again, financially, it's very expensive, and most of the time you're traveling by yourself, and it gets lonely. Obviously, golf can't be great every day. Sometimes you play bad rounds, sometimes you play good, sometimes you play good and you didn't make the cut. You're just not good enough that week, or sometimes you played all right and you finish high up in the rank. I mean, it depends on the courses and the field, and obviously during the weeks that you didn't play so great or are having a tough time to figure things out, you're gonna get lonely and you're gonna get frustrated, and you're always by yourself. So um, I was grateful that I was able to meet good people right away as friends, and then we hang out, we talk. But my first year was not fun. It was, I would say, zero fun. It was stressful. It was about learning. You have to fly to different city, and you have to, you know, different hotels. Sometimes you're lucky, you get like a host family that will host you, and you feel like home. You get once in a while, you get a home cooked meal, but most of the time it's tough. But I'm glad I went through that, and now that I'm entering into my seventh season, if this virus allows, um, I get to go back to see the families that I've stayed with uh, the past few years, and it's exciting that way for me to look forward to my next event next year. Just because, those host family makes me feel like I'm not alone, and I have a family, and I have home cooked food when I come back from my exhausting day, and it's all worth it. I mean, I love what I do. I would never trade a single minute of what I do, but I think this message are not told correctly out there on whether it's social media or news. People always see the fun stuff on the Instagram, and the business class that they get to fly, and of course you can do all that if you're a top 20 or 50 in the world. You have all the money to do that, but it's like what, 5% of the golfers population maybe. So I mean, maybe less, I don't even know the number. So um it's my dream. I Again, I love what I do, and it is tough, and I have told many people that, and it's not all luxurious like you see on TV. And if you're willing to go through that, and go for it. I mean, it's fun. I love my life. So
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that part. I mean, it's really hard for like you to jump directly into turning pro when you got your tour card on Q school. And I'm sure
Mhm.
like the first few years was just a lot of learning, and the transition is not as easy by yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of this, I guess, the back story of how people get to the tour and like play on it, it's not really seen out where
yeah.
on TV or
I
social
mean,
media.
I think more than I mean, there's so many cool stories on tour, and I wish they are told. Little town Batu Pahat, like, I knew when I was probably 14 or 15 that I want to play on the LPGA tour, and that's my dream, and that's when I said it. But my parents didn't know. Like, they didn't know that telling me to go swing a club would now, for me to now, play on the LPGA tour. I mean, it's, I mean, anything can happen, and it's, yeah, again, I mean, I was trying to just say, I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't have every facilities I need. I mean, if you were to see the courses I started on, I don't even, like, now I don't even know why I started. I mean, it's so bad.
Yeah, for sure. Well, considering what we used to play in
Right,
and what kids get to play now, it's like
right.
what
Now
we
they get
had
to
was
go in a
really
little indoor with like AC and all nice and
like
cozy.
simulators.
To play whatever course they want. It's like
Yeah.
it's different, but I mean, it's technologies, but
Yeah, well,
that's
that's
another
the
topic.
next question. That comparing to you playing now and when you were learning and training growing up, what
Mhm,
would you say is the biggest difference? Obviously, technology is a lot more advanced right now than
mhm,
before. Other
mhm.
than that, like, have you, like, what would you say is
Oh, I would say the quality of
comparable?
players. I mean, nowadays, when I got on tour, I was 20, and I was not the youngest one. I mean, there were 17-year-old, 18-year-old, that was winning tournaments like Brooke Henderson and
Mhm.
Lydia Ko and Aria. Like they were younger than me, and it's like it's kind of tough for you to mentally wrap yourself around and go, who cares what your age is? But sometimes it does matter. It's like, and now they're like, rock stars, and you're like, am I missing? Did I miss the boat or something? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
sure, I mean, technology's helped a bunch. I mean, the club nowadays, why the guys hits it 350 yards. I mean, like they're not monsters, but all the guys you know I mean, I spend a lot of my time into fitness and trying to get myself fit, and I feel like that's a very very um that's the biggest key for me, because as a woman, like, we're not built to be strong. And if you're just comparing, you know two women, if one woman's stronger, you definitely have the um advantage to hit out of roughs and hit it further and stuff like that. So I mean, not necessarily hit the ball further, but I'm just trying to keep my body in the best shape or form so I don't get injured just because I play golf every day. And it's can be hard on your body, right? And then you sleep on different beds and you fly through the nights, different countries or cities. So those kind of thing, it's what yeah, I believe that, I love my workouts, and I feel like a lot of people should invest in their strength training or gym workout, however you want to call that, over, I don't know, technologies. I mean, it's there to help us.
Yeah, I do notice that you have been working out a lot in the last few years ever
Yeah,
since you got on the tour.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've started working out at the age of 16, I would say, like seriously.
Hmm.
And but as soon as I turned pro, I knew this is something that I have to do, because I mean, you just can't, go out and golf week after week, and you have to feel fit, because it's not just hitting, a ball around. You play 4 rounds of stressful golf, and you travel and you lug your bag around countries and airports and stuff like that. I just feel like, you have to be physically somewhat fit to be able to do all that kind of stuff. And really, the past, I've now been working with Rich Hesketh. He used to work with the Flames for 20 years, and he's a very very experienced guy, even though he was in in the hockey side of things. But I feel like golf and hockey is quite similar in the way we swing and whatnot, other than their skating and I'm walking. But he's really got to learn a lot about golf, and transform some of his exercises to golf related, and have helped me um, this past 5 years. And probably last year, middle of last year, I started gaining like 20 yards out of the blue, right?
Yeah, your body starts to work like the way that it should, and then
Yeah,
everything just clicks in.
yeah. Even sometimes I still go like, yeah, I just don't think the 8 iron will get there. My caddy's like, well, your 8 iron is now flying 135. It will get there. And I'm, yeah.
No, that's a important part for sure. And like you said, so that you can keep playing and not get injured day in day out with
Right,
hockey.
absolutely. Like, I'm proud to say, but knock on the wood, like,
It's
what
pretty good.
I played golf I started at the age of 12, and then plus I played volleyball and I ran hurdles and stuff like that growing
Mhm.
up. And I'm turning 27. So it's been 15 years, and I have not have injuries. Like, sure, I sometimes I wake up, my hips are a little tight and my shoulder is sore, but I haven't really had to take like 3 months off because my wrist is I wrecked my wrist, or I wrecked
Mhm.
my I wreck anything. So touch wood, I keep doing what I'm doing the way I do, and hopefully I stay out of those injuries.
Good. Well, that's important. You need your
Yeah.
body to play.
Yeah.
How would you say a sample training day is like for you right now?
So a lot of the stuff I do now, like if you were to see on my Instagram, I don't use weights because just on the road, I just don't feel like it's. I'm so tired after playing and practicing. I just want to go into a gym to, even in my hotel room, to just activate some of the muscles that I use just to, say hi, make sure they're working. And yeah, I don't use a lot of weights in season, but definitely off season, me and my coach, we would, add some weights to try and get stronger. But in season, we do a lot of body weights and trying to get that mobility to where we're supposed to get to, and stay flexible, and I don't know, stay loose. And yeah,
Mhm.
we don't do anything crazy.
So you would say a big part of your like routine would be with exercise and then on top of your practicing with the swing and your short game and all
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
mean, on the road, there it's important. I can't tell you that I work out every day because I don't.
Mhm.
I do
It's
probably
hard
Monday.
without equipment and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because Thursdays my tournament start, and I finish final round on Sunday, and I
Mhm.
travel usually Monday morning, and I get to my hotel and I try and get a session in, and I usually do like mobility work and body weight stuff, like a Tabata circuit kind of thing, get my heart rate up, and then finish up with core and stretches, and that's what I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't really go into the weights and stuff. And
Yeah.
I do my week, and during the week off I do the same, but except I do Monday to Friday. And
Hmm.
now, even now, I mean, now,
What would you say is one important quality for junior golfers if they are looking to go down the route to play professional? Like, what is important that they should develop when they're younger
yeah.
to get in the routine or how they train or the mindset?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say like one thing. There's a lot of little things that comes in a package to get to somewhere high in the rank, right? So I would say you need to definitely have a good fundamentals in your golf golf fundamentals. And I'm sure you're working with the best coach you can find, and um keep I mean, I tell kids that you need to be able to enjoy what you do to be able to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like take it serious. When I was 14 or 15, and when I knew I wanted to turn pro, I I wasn't. I mean, I was very dedicated and very disciplined in what, like, I knew exactly every day what I want to do, and I set out my routine because I had to go to school, and then after school I have to do my schoolwork, and then golf is like my playtime, but it's something I love. So I would put in time to practice, and to tournaments, to when's my next one, how I prepare for it, talk to my coach. And obviously you need to be somewhere, mentally you need to be somewhere, where you should be calm and stuff like that. So I would say just have fun, don't take it too seriously, and it's just a game. It's okay if you shoot 100, because I mean, it doesn't matter. It's fine, because you get it, and once you get it, you off you go. It's okay when you have a bad day. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
So
No, that's an important thing that to have
yeah.
fun so that you don't end up burning yourself out of it.
Yeah, I mean, stay disciplined, but most important thing, enjoy what you're doing. Say if you're gonna go and practice, and say your coach tell you need to do a drill, but make it enjoyable, make it fun. I mean, yes, you have to finish it, but don't get mad if you can't. I mean, maybe you're just on a bad day. Come back tomorrow and finish it. Like, be disciplined. Make sure you finish your drill, but it doesn't mean that if you don't finish it, you can't go home. I've seen some kids where they do that, and it's not fun anymore. Like, they don't
Yeah,
look forward to it, and it just derails your mental
for sure.
thing. So
So you played the Olympics in 2016.
hmm
How was it like experience in the Olympics as a golfer since that was like the first time they put it back?
yeah, I mean, of course, never once I grew up thinking I'm gonna be an Olympian one day. Never. I like watching the Olympics, but I never knew I could be one. It
Yeah.
was kind of cool when they put it back, because I mean, it's kind of cool, right? Once you're an Olympian, you're always an Olympian. So I mean, it was it was cool, it was fun. Except I had a bad experience because my golf bag didn't show up for 10 days. Like the airline lost my bag. So I was there early. I was there like 10 days early, like to prepare, and my bag didn't show up for that 10 days to practice. So my bag literally showed up like the day before the tournament, and I haven't swung in 10 days, and it was the Olympics. So just think about how stressful, like where I was mentally and physically. I was, yeah, so mad and every day. And yeah, it wasn't fun that past years, and going to games and going to races, it was fun. I would love to do that again, and I hope that when next year come, and I won't have that experience again. I'll make sure my bag arrives.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and it's good to hear the story from like the backside of things where not a lot of people like
It's
tell
not
you.
easy. That's
It's
why.
not just all the glamorous of being on tour, flying private jets.
Yeah, but when you have a good week, it sure pays off. You sure feel
And,
great. So it
yeah,
does. It does pay off. It's not all the no fun stuff. It's fun. You get to travel and meet people, but it's not all glamorous. That's the
yeah.
right.
Okay,